when people say we should silence people on social media, I'm like, that's the wrong approach. You need to make the truth louder. Do a better job of telling me what the answer is with real data. Like, show me what really happened and say, hey, this really happened. And when other people say, well, I don't like this thing that happened, they can say that as much as they want. But I need to know the actual thing that happened, please. And thank you.
This stuff all kind of goes together, but they're fundamental things, and that's why I like that part, because to me it helps explain a lot. When you understand something fundamental, it covers a broad area. You know, we see this, just like I was saying, like Al Gore is trying to paint the picture. Oh my goodness, the right is trying to, you know, push a lot of fear. It's like, well, you're doing that too. So I guess fear is how we want votes. This is
or our goal. Seems like it's our goal. People are doing a lot of this. Seems like that's done intentionally. It must give them something.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I gotta throw this in here just because it's kind of fresh in my mind. I think I might have to write a review on this book. But he tried to set it up like, yeah, he did the Kant thing. Oh, we're going to talk about reason. And it's not really reason. This is just, you wanted to use an intellectual argument to destroy your enemy. So you set it up like you were getting ready to come with the intellectual argument, and those people over there, cavemen. Mm-hmm. And then you just told me how you felt. That's just because that's really what he did. He set it up like, and if you look at this study, if you look at this history and blah, 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 and those people over there are the worst because they did this and then they did that. And
I love it. Yes. My side is better than their side. Believe my side. We have studies, and these studies show these things exist over here. And if those people over there don't agree with these studies or know these studies or agree with me, and therefore they're bad people. I mean, there were a lot of jumps in there. I don't think any of those things logically follow. I get it, though. You don't like them. It sounds like you don't like them at all.
I mean, and he may have good grounds for liking them, but don't try to paint it like this is an intellectual case.
Right.
It's really not. It's got some intellectual arguments, but then it goes to example. And look, he did this. He said this. He said that the enemy was this person. And that enemy didn't have anything to do with the real enemy. And now you got all of America thinking it's this person. And on some level, I get it. But to me, it brings out a bigger picture for me. And this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't call it me having difficulty communicating a point to people. It's people having difficulty understanding where I'm coming from, because I can't get into look how he made or she, look how you made this person think about reality and this adult. And that's why I get lost, because I can't really relate. I don't think like that. I just think like, okay, we're arguing about what somebody thought reality was, or how maybe I could have persuaded somebody to think something different. I mean, I look at it like that's your job. Your job is to think.
I mean, we all had that job to think, but you made a pace that you were going to tell us what you thought. And so now this is your time to roll this out in a way that makes sense, that we can all understand where you're coming from. And that's fine. You can tell us your perspective. But if you're going to argue for one perspective over another, you got to have better reasons than just like, I have reasons. I like it more. I have studies. I'm like, okay, did the studies support your argument? I don't know, but I like them. And therefore, other people don't have these studies. They're wrong. But those anyway, I just think that is a bare minimum. It's fine to have people tell us their perspective, but it's frustrating when I do not see how the things they're using to support their position like directly apply. It's not relevant.
But it's a little different than that, and I'm probably not articulating it well. It's the argument for censoring social media. Hey, someone put out a post, and that post is a lie, and so you should take that post down because it will make people think this other thing, you know? And for me, I'm thinking a lot of stuff is not going to be the total and complete truth. And I'd rather see most of the stuff than have only the stuff that you want me to see, because I don't feel like that's really going to help my life if I only get to see the stuff that you allow. I think that's bad.
Could be. I mean, it can be abused, right? Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that I think that it can be abused. I think by nature, it's pretty. You're going to have to use a principle for this. This is what I'm saying, like, because it becomes, oh my goodness, that's bad. We shouldn't let people see it.
Right.
And maybe it's just the point that tells people that what you're saying is not right. Maybe that's why you don't want people to see it, because
I mean, bias exists, but I think that's secondary. I think like the first principles part is that truth exists, and if people don't have truth, they can't make real or wise decisions. And I think there is something to be said for having a truth criteria, some sort of standard we can say this accords with reality or not, and here's actual evidence in reality that supports that. I think there is a benefit for that, and it's cool to see when people can take that truth standard and make it the most prevalent thing possible by shouting out all the other people who are coming against the truth standard. When people then take the truth standard and then say like I like it or don't like it, that's a bias standard. Then we can have a different conversation. Like, I mean, we could all let everybody talk about how much about what they think about the fact. But I really want, when people say we should silence people on social media, I'm like, that's the wrong approach. You need to make the truth louder. Do a better job of telling me what the answer is with real data. Like, show me what really happened and say, hey, this really happened. And when other people say, well, I don't like this thing that happened, they can say that as much as they want. But I need to know the actual thing that happened, please. And thank you.
But let me ask you this. Do you think the truth is easy?
If everybody was being objective, it would be easy. Meaning like there is a element of fact that exists that is objective. And so it's like, hey, the sun is hot and gravity exists and water is wet. I'm like, yeah, that's super easy. Perceptually, there was no interpretation needed. It just failed. We perceived it. It was there. Someone conveyed it. I'm like, that's easy. But that doesn't always happen. People don't convey things just as they perceive them. They usually convey them with some sort of interpretation.
Yeah, so this is because I'm thinking using Jung's framework is a tool. If I'm looking some of the conversations that we've had, and I've talked about rational versus irrational, and I'll just use as an example because people may know it. The Terrence Howard flower of life conversation with her, or there are no straight lines in reality. That may be true, that there are no actual real straight lines in reality, but it's not really relevant. It doesn't serve us.
Right. So we define it within these parameters. It's not absolutely true. Nope, that wasn't how we defined it. We didn't define it as absolutely true, contextually true. This one portion, it is more straight than this random curved circle. Clearly they're different. That's all we needed. We needed just to have enough of a straightening on this continuum to be able to use it. And now we can use it. It's functional now.
Got it, right? And the bad thing to me is, because I'm about to go to a next point, is that I don't think he's doing anything wrong by saying that. I just think that it doesn't help people. So we don't care. As a rational person, it doesn't help my life. It's not that it's untrue. It's just irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I look at the truth on a interpretation scale, okay, if I think about thinking versus feeling, and I'm like, well, is this intellectually or conceptually aligned as truth? Or I could take the position of feeling and say, well, is this a good thing or bad thing for me or for people? Mm-hmm. Because, and this is to me why truth is confusing, especially in the public sphere, because people are really talking about different stuff.
Right.
And so this is why when one person says, okay, this is truth. I mean, I could take the TI approach. I'm INTP. Like, hey, we need objective evidence to be conceptually aligned, and that's truth. And you can I know I've gotten feedback from people that's like, well, you're using a logical framework, but what about people who don't use a logical framework? That's my bias. You know what I'm saying?
They are not my audience. Yeah, you're right. They don't agree with me. Cool. I am not here to convince every human being in existence to agree with me. I'm here to give my perspective. This is my 2 cents. It's like other people have their 2 cents. They do. But that's not my 2 cents. My 2 cents is this.
And that's why I say truth is difficult, and err on the side of letting almost everything through, because you're going to have a bias. Neurodivergent people are going to have a bias. Irrational people are going to have a bias. Emotion-driven people are going to have a bias. And I don't want anybody to really police this as that much, to be honest with you.